Hello, World Wide Web. My name is IPC, that stands for I Paint Creatures. This is another I Paint Creatures in the Funky Eye Puppets joint right here on the World Wide Web. And basically in these videos, I like to just, discipline myself for almost 60 weeks to just make sure that each week I put something out in this form. And I really enjoy it. It allows me to reflect on a lot of my artistic journey and take you on it. And also exploit some real positive mind food, and a little bit of quotes, affirmations, things that get us to reflect on the process of who we are and what we be, and then improve that and improve the rich experiences in life, and I think that's the base of being a wealthy being. Right, and today I'm showing you a pandemic watercolor, and I'm actually working on the newest one, and I'll be laying it all out. I like to work on this big watercolor paper, and I like to just take things out of my sketchbook that I like and put them all in one composition and render them, and it also kind of gives me a measurement of what was going on in my life at that point, and all these people I met during the pandemic on Zoom, and so I draw little characters and cartoons of them. And then I love drawing animals and always keeping my information up on the animals and how to draw them, and of course modify them a little bit, like give the little hippo there a fedora and give this bald eagle like colors he normally wouldn't have, and put a petunia, I think that's what it is, type flower on top with a bee. And then also document things that mean a lot to me. So the City Lights bookstore owner basically passed, and so I documented him on there, and that's Lawrence Ferlinghetti, the guy who published Jack Kerouac and all the beats, and why we have kind of a landscape of American poets from the late 50s. But I'd like to explore a quote today, and it's basically by Sarah Breathnach. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the quote is, "Any self-prompt that reminds you to focus on flow, not ebb, contributes to your greater sense of abundance." And that is so important to remind me every day. Actually, her quote actually is, self-prompt. And basically, if you look at it, Sarah is saying, focus on the flow, not the ebb. So the flow is the movement of things, right? And the ebb is kind of where it's headed, right? Because the ebb is like where it's all collecting itself to empty itself in the ocean, or it's kind of the end product, right? And I like to focus on the ebb right at first, right? Like visualize where everything is flowing to. But then when you get in the process, just really focus your time and energy on what is flowing, what is moving, what is, getting it to go to that ebb, and, and contribute to that positive movement and keep that flowing and fluid and moving forward. And, anything you can do to keep a focus, that's also key too, because when you keep a focus and you have intention, the magic really starts to show up. This thing that Neville Goddard talks about, which is called the bridge of incidents, and I can't live any other way as an artist, when it just starts opening up and all these creative ideas start coming at you, and the bridge sometimes isn't pleasant, but you got to remember it's for something great to come into being. It's got to use the negative and positive force, right, to create that flow and that energy, so it goes and it becomes real and who you think you can be with it, right? So it also is a very metaphor to this painting and how watercolor works, right? In the sense that if you really concentrate on the flow of how the water helps you blend and makes these incredible color effects and allows it to do it, and you let the water kind of do what in paintings called the heavy lifting, right? And like the heavy lifting would be like getting the perfect blends, right? But in watercolor, it's really easy because you lay it down, and the part of the trick is being patient and like what Sarah's saying here, remind yourself in your head to pay attention to the flow and how it's fun and it's creative, and not really worry about the end product and how it's going to come out. And usually when I do this, it comes out just fabulous, just like this painting. This painting is pretty big. I don't know if I made it to sell it or just to, I think a lot to just have fun with watercolor and do something that can kind of put a document of that time period in my life, and it's a lot of fun. I'm working on one right now, the same concept. I love to scatter animals that I see either in on the internet or in some type of print ad, or a good pose, and just gives me a lot of practice to sketch it out on this big paper, kind of in the collage format. And then definitely practicing my watercolors, but I think more than practicing, you're basically exercising it, so you don't lose the magic, and you can go back to it. A lot of you know I love this thing called an art venture, so every time you do art, make sure you're successful, so you come back, and that's how you get good and you enjoy yourself, right? And so all of that is definitely, back to Sarah's quote, is the prompt. So it reminds you to focus on the flow and not the ebb, and it contributes to your greater sense of abundance, because when you have sense of abundance, you can attract it. So thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you folks real soon.